What's good, everybody? It's your boy, the Galleon Goon, and let me tell you how I got fourth place in my new type challenge with ZAFT. So, as far as games went, we went 5 rounds. There was about 20 something people there. Um, Round one, I went against Green Red Zeon Rush. It was a close match. He went very low to the ground. Luckily, I had cards like Legal to hold me down, dealing 2 damage to various cards. And then on my top end, I have a particular card that helped me basically bounce back the field of cards that had 3 or less HP. Round two, I fought against a purple white Barbatos. That game came close to the grind. He was fortunate to top deck a Kira to swing that life after he swung with the suppression Barbatos and the Barbatos that drew a card. I had 3 life. So he swung with the suppression, swung with the Barbatos that draws one, and then that card was Akira. Played L Strike and Kira. It was what it was. Otherwise, I definitely would have had it next turn. Round three, for the blue green 1 year war. Uh, I mowed down through the armor rolls. I couldn't let those armor rolls survive. I was clearing his 2/2s with Legals. And then on the top end, when Providence came out, it was pretty much over at that point. And then I played another Providence back to back on that turn, in that game in particular. Round four was a white blue Jupiter Titan with Aile Strike deck. That was very scary. Luckily, I was able to rush the board with my low end cards like Zeon and Legals, Elfrifs. There was 2 turns in a row that I even swung with Elfrif, therefore pressuring him even further. By the time he tried to stabilize with the O, I had too wide of a board. Um, and then round five was a clan deck, standard red green, good old clan. He was a great player. That's why he was in my last round for a reason. But Lord, fortunately for me, I was able to see my blockers when he had his cards out, and my breaches, the Aegis Gundam, and the support of cards like Legal and G-Quise, and also the Aegis Gundam that deals 3 damage to a level 5 or higher. Cards like that definitely came in handy. And then when I was able to see my Providence, Gundam, and Justice, that pretty much sealed the deal. But here we go. We're going to start with the low end. First, we are running 2 Xenos. This card in particular saved me during the 1 year war matchups, even during the Barbatos matchup. The fact that I can get first strike into level 2s, clearing their boards, is very efficient. Also, if he stays on the board too long, he's just a pesky hitter. He can just ping at people's shields on bases. Yes, he's a 2/1. If they ping it, sure. If not, they're gonna have to deal with that. He also has a ZAFT link, so I can link in it. I can link for him for a sneaky swing. Also, there were times where people had certain level 2s out that I did not want on the board, like certain Zaku's. I was able to link an Althorn and then swing active into that card, having the first strike, just clearing it. We are then running for level 3s, 4 Elfrifs and 4 Legals. Uh, Loki, not the backpin, not the backbone of the deck, but very clutch as blockers are heavily needed for this type of deck. Legal, MVP, Y'all know what he does. If he has 5 or more AP, when he swings at a unit, he's allowed to ping 2 damage to a additional unit or that same unit, any other unit, basically. He was great for trading into low end units or units that were already damaged while I was able to crash or trade into another unit additionally. So he can basically be like a 2 for 1 as far as his trades go, which is very efficient. And y'all know Alfred, best blocker. Now we go into the mid range. As for our level fours, we go 3 Den Commander types, and we go 2 Buster Gundams. This card is still great. The fact that it's when I link with a coordinator, it can restand. It could potentially have another attack. There was times that I had 2 Buster Gundams on the field, and I used one to boost the other one just so it can swing into EX base. It has a fat booty with 4 HP. The card will always be good, in my opinion. And it costs 2 versus the 3 from the GOI's commander. As for Din Commander, it has a Rao link, and if you need to swing, it's also a 3/4, which means it survives cards like Wing Gundam, which I loathe. Then we also run 3 Goai's Commander types, 2 MMO Aegis, and then 2 regular Aegis Gundams. Guai's captain of the deck, support 1. I'm able to give support 2 to something else. So basically, he has support 3, but it's split, which comes in handy sometimes. Aegis Gundam, he has the Breach 3. He's a 3/4. Author Link, same thing with this Aegis. He is a 4/3. Author Link. This card came in handy against Purple Barbatos, easily clearing the top end of certain cards. Also against the Jupiter's deck, the Titan blockers that cost like 5, or like the Forbidden Gundams and things like that. He was able to ping them for 3 damage, amongst my other cards in the deck that deals ping, like Providence or Close Combats that you'll see later. They was able to clear big units off the board. Also being able to swing in active mode with the Alton. Disrupt certain plays that the opponent has when it comes to blocking or trades. And now for our top end, we was just simply running 3 Providence and 3 Justice Gundams. Uh, Rao, Link, Providence Gundam is great for the deck. Gives everybody +2. You can get them to ping sometimes up to 4 damage, which I have done. Just for the 4 damage, I was swinging into bases and then pinging 4 to cards like Forbidden Gundams and Elfriths before they even had the chance to block. Justice Gundam, a goat of a card. Another link for authoring in the event. If not, he is a card that grants you a potential blocker or a potential second swing if you have the author link. And then the spice of the deck was Justice Gundam Meteor. That was the one of another Alden link in the games that I made it to turn 8 and above, especially during the 1 year war deck and the red Zeon Rush deck. I was able to bounce back a bunch of their little Zakus and units that they had to replay in order to swing out for game, but it messed up their tempo greatly. And then he becomes a sneaky 7/8. He becomes very tanky, very tanky. And that was the top end. As far as shields go, I just ran Vesalius, 2 Jack and Dews, and 1 Valiant. This card I use as for Spice Tech in the event to make certain cards like Legal or Aegis Gundam live on that turn that I needed to swing. Gave something +2. These guys, you already know what they do. Great cards. This card on turn 6, you're able to play it. Give a ZAFT card unit +3. Basalis, once per turn. Give a friendly unit plus AP1. And I can also pick it back up with the pilots I'm about to show right now. So then as for pilots, we ran 4 Althenzala and then 4 Raul Croissant. I don't know. I wish he was a coordinator. It is what it is. But I still wish he was a coordinator. That would have been great. But y'all know what Raul does. Level 4 pilot, 2-1. When he's linked, he's able to grab a ZAFT base from the drop. I can't wait till the purple deck comes out. I'm going to have a whole new monster of a deck with him and Shin. Althenzala, the boy, when linked, he's allowed to swing at level 5s or higher or lower that are in active mode. We also have multiple links for their units, also as for the generic ZAFT units. So as for commands, we was just running 4, overflowing affection, the white staple, draw 2, drop 1, sets up cards for like the bases to be picked up with Raul Crosset, digs through your cards, picks up, drops dead cards in hand. The card is good. And then we run 2 striker packs. This card is very sneaky. So in the sense, we run 6 blockers with 2 striker packs and the 4 elf rifts. This card being in your life sometimes can come clutch and sets you up for victory. If not, also having a 4-2 or 2-4 blocker never hurts. And then we will wrap that up with 3 close combats. Another great card from life if you hit burst from shields. If not, you just deal 2 damage to a unit, and that sets up your ping damage also between the Legal and your Providence Gundam. All my matchups were very intense. As I always like to say, you play what you feel most comfortable with. I felt most comfortable playing with this deck. You just try to set your deck up, in my opinion, for the would-be meta. I tried to go about as all-rounder as I can, with me dealing ping, with me able to attack units that are in active mode, with me having a breach, with me having a little draw power, with me able to have a first strike on low-end units, or get rid of low-end units with the close combats, or try to get rid of top-end units with Aegis Gundam or Providence. Trying to survive units like Wing Gundam with the Din Commander, that's a 3-4 instead of being a 3-3. Things like that, and also trying to survive weenie units with cards like the Meteor Gundam to bounce back cards like that and then mess up their tempo. So that was my ZAFT deck in particular, white, red. In the event you guys or feel free to play it, I will also have a picture of it or a link of it. There's also one on the Facebook of the Gundam Card Game community on the Facebook page if you guys have Facebook. So stay tuned when the expert or ultimate deck comes out this weekend. We'll definitely, I already have a particular purple red brew I'm working on in the works. I just want to wait till it's legally out so I can play it on Mobile Suit Arena because I cannot stand Wing Table. So thank you everybody that watched. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And shout out to all my ZAFT players. Remember, it's not what you play, it's how. Peace.